Mars is now traveling along at 17 degrees of Cancer, and then it moves into its pre-retrograde shadow. Mars is going to be in Cancer until early November of this year. Then it'll move into Leo. And then in December, it will station retrograde. And it will go back into Cancer, station direct in February of 2025. So Mars begins its slow, every 2-year process of going retrograde. But first, it has to enter the pre-shadow time. Notice what themes and issues are coming up for you at this time, because you may relatively look at them differently when it comes to February next year. Certain themes around nurturing, bear hugging, tree hugging, plant hugging, home creating, children creating, food making, all these issues will be looked at differently later on next year. And so that's very important to take note of because Mars begins its retrograde season right here, right now, on October 5th. But before we get there, let's talk about the astrology of October 4th. And let me break down everything that's going on during these couple of days because there's quite a bit going on. The very first thing is we have Venus in Scorpio trining Saturn in Pisces. So this is a water trine. It's an emotional trine. It's a sensitive trine. It's also an intuitive trine. Water is the effervescent flowing energy of all life and creation. Water is feminine. Water is receptive. Water really is about the true feelings that reside inside of us. And so we can look at the nurturing and loving elements of our relationships, and are they in place for us for the long term? That becomes paramount now. Venus trine Saturn and what it means is about relationships that are set foot for the long term, that are in it for the long haul. That's what this is about. Reliability and dependability are two themes that can come up as major catch points at this particular time. So being reliable, being the person that other people can count on, being responsible for people, being indebted for people, being accumulatus for people, being dependable. Dependability is a major theme. Are you dependable? Is the other person in your relationship dependable? Can you depend on them? Or do you need to talk about some stuff and get things squared away so that the both of you are dependable, the both of you are balanced in a co-independent relationship? You may be feeling more pragmatic at this time about your relationships and the matters of your relationships. Now you want relationships that are long-lasting ones. This is what this comes down to. Long-lasting relationships for the long term. Not quick whims, not nightstands, not 2-day ins, 2-day outs, but real long-term committed marriages or relationships with anyone in your life. Is this relationship sustainable for you for the long term? And Venus trine Saturn also asks you to get very clear about your values. Is this relationship in alignment with what I value, or is it not? If it isn't, time to let it go. Time to release it. Even if you can't, you can. Find the bravery, pick up the courage, and be bold and determined to release this relationship from your life, even if it is a major thing to do, even if you can't do it, even if it just seems so far out of your reach right now. You need to really pick up your bootstraps and be very deterministic and decide to end this relationship. And the consequences of what could go wrong far underweigh you continuing to be in a relationship that is unhealthy for you. Now you're thinking about practical outcomes. What is the practical outcome of being in the relationships that you're being in? You can also look at the existing relationships that you have, and you can form greater bonds and greater connections with the people in those relationships. Social situations may require you to be diplomatic and respect tradition. And so when you show diplomacy, when you respect tradition, you are adhering to the high road of this energy because tradition has history, tradition has answers, tradition has results. And we can look on the past of tradition in order to pave the way for a new future. Learning from history, otherwise we're bound to repeat it, that kind of thing. And when it comes to diplomacy, being peacemaking, being compromising, being uncomparable to the person in your relationship becomes wonderful to be at a perfect place and time right now. This is also good for marriage or getting married in general. Long-term relationships, long-term commitments. Maybe you're falling into predictable solid routines with loved ones. Maybe these routines are really rudimentary to the kind of life that you're living right now. Your viewpoints on life may mature at this particular time. Your viewpoints on life, um, your thoughts on it, your beliefs of it could go through some maturation and could become evolved in a very special, rudimentary kind of way. This is about solidly rooted love. This is about attuning to the commitments in your relationships, resisting relationship conflicts. That's another key piece here, is not engaging in conflicts with your partner. The moon will square Pluto. So when the moon is square Pluto in Capricorn, the moon is in the late Libra sign, Pluto's in the late Capricorn sign. They're squaring each other at 29 degrees of their signs, which is the last degree. It's the critical, the most hot, the most heated, the most tense degree of the zodiac. This may bring about you engaging in such compulsive and destructive actions, whatever those might be. Lamp reading, calendar making, desk creating, bed cover sheeting, where it can get unhealthy, that becomes a big issue. And so it is a critical time to release intense emotions from your subconscious, walking them off, speaking them off, writing them off, jumping them off, whatever is the way of healing your subconscious, even just shaking your body and releasing tense energy. Let loose those emotions, let those emotions out, get those emotions off your chest, and it will be very refreshing and very healing to do this at this time. Conflicts with those in positions of power could come to play here. This could be antidotes. It could be green grass. It could be clothes that need washing in a certain way. It can be groceries that need to be put in a certain way. Or it could be what to do about the person in my family that is struggling in the hospital right now. Big issues, small issues, neutral, medium issues. These things become a power player now. They become very big issues, but there may be conflict between you and a person in a position of power. Jealousy, manipulation, and guilt tripping are casualties of this aspect. Conscious awareness is critical now It's critical that we are conscious and aware when it comes to how to deal with the issues in our lives. And seeking guidance and choosing the next right action that is in alignment with our souls, is in alignment with our higher self, to move ourselves onto a higher trajectory of life, to move ourselves up to the fifth dimension and moving away from the three-dimension life. So, we need to make the best decisions for the highest good of the all when it comes to the issues that we have to face in our life. Decisions that are in the highest good of the all. And I could keep saying that over and over and over until the cows come home. So there's a strong need to control things here. That becomes paramount. So, you may feel like it's hard to let go of control, but this aspect challenges you to let go of control, of needing to control the people in your environment, needing to control the terrain that you're in, letting that control go. This is good for healing yourself on a deep level. This is a time to feel your feelings. Don't stuff them down or run away from them, but face your feelings head on. Really move through your feelings, really acknowledge your feelings, and just feel them. And when you feel them, it becomes healing. You become more present with them and such. This is about recognizing how uncontrolled impulses that you have done have led to behaviors that are self-destructive. So looking at the impulses that you have and making the highest form of decision. Now, in the present moment, the past doesn't matter anymore because you can't change it. But you can change what you do right here, right now, and not reacting and not choosing to follow the impulses inside of you that are impulsive and destructive and negative and bad. But choosing to go to the highest level of minutiae to make the highest decisions that you possibly can. I did pull an oracle card for this particular day from the Ask Your Guides Oracle by Sonia Choquette, an oracle that's about co-creating the life you love with the universe by your side. I did pull an oracle card for October 4th. And the card that I pulled, where I asked the question, I shuffled the cards, what does the collective need to know on October 4th? And I got the card Prayer, the very, very first card in the deck, as you can see. So prayer. This is about remembering that you have a higher connection to your higher power. It is about if you feel disconnected, if you feel stuck and stagnant, if you feel in lost dimensions from your higher power, now's the time to rekindle your relationship with that. Now's the time to reconnect with your higher power. How to do this? Pray to your higher power. Think it or speak it out loud what you desire, what you want, what you need, what you hope for. And be very clear about your intentions. Be very clear about what you hope for in your mind. This is about being one with the divine. This is about putting your hands in your heart and saying thank you to the divine. Thank you for the blessed life I have. Thank you for the beautiful things I have. Thank you for the beautiful people that reside in my life. Thank you for everything that has happened to me, even the worst things. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And when you do this, you become more present and you also become more connected with the divine. You need to remember that you have your higher self in the handy. You have a connection to your higher self, and now's the time to connect deeper with your higher self. The Divine Mother is available for nurturing support. This is the connection to the Divine Feminine that needs to be, looked at and worked on at this time. It's about open to receiving the blessings, the guidance from the Divine Mother. That's what this also relates to. It's about opening your heart and telling the Divine Mother your worries and concerns, and being open and honest about these things. And so communicating with the divine, that's what this is also about. And knowing that your prayers will be answered. If you pray, if you have faith, your prayers will be answered. Moving on to October 5th. So Mars will enter its pre-retrograde shadow on this particular day, but also we have several things occurring. The first of which is we have the moon trining Saturn. So this brings about practicality. It brings about a need to commit to whatever you decide to do, commit to your goals, commit to your aspirations, commit to your embeddedness in your life. Your organizational ability becomes up-notch at this time. So there is a focus on being logical with this in your decision making. Patience and emotional strength. Being patient and being emotionally resilient, emotionally strong. You have strong instincts and common sense. Unfortunately, these two things, although they may be very, very different, they are working in tandem together at this time, where your instincts are in alignment with your common sense. This is about looking back to the past of your life and learning from it and changing your actions in the present moment, doing something different than you've never done before, improving the state of your life. This brings about stability as well. This is about keeping to the traditional ways of doing things in your life, not changing things, sticking to what works. This is time to honor traditions, sticking to what works. So this is about taking responsibility in your life and your relationships. Whatever responsibility that you need to take action on, whatever responsibility that you need to act upon and perform, now's the time where that responsibility in your relationships becomes particularly important for you to act upon right now. So, what are the responsibilities that you have in your relationships? Is it cooking a meal? Is it gardening the garden? Is it sorting out pictures? Whatever your responsibility is, it's time to take that seriously. It's important also to not be, it's important to also not be, it's important to be, it is also important to really not be too cold and detached at this particular time, to form as deep as a connection as you can with the people in the world, to not be cut off from them. This can bring about emotional maturity also. Um, it's important to be responsible, yet playful, and yet open to new things, open to the universe, open to spontaneity, open to fun and joy, at the same time as being responsible. And it's important to evaluate how you can efficiently and effectively reach your aspirations. What are the ways that you can take? What are the steps that you can take in order to reach your goals? Is it making a list? Is it pulling up the blind? Is it setting your alarm clock to wake up at the right time? Is it turning on the lamps so that you have more light? Whatever it is that can help you, even if it's the smallest things that can help you reach your goals. This is also about honoring your heritage, looking back and paying respect to your ancestors. This is also good to seek wisdom from elders as well, seeking advice from elders. And this is a time to be as compassionate as you possibly can. Now, the moon will conjunct Venus at this time. So when the moon is conjunct Venus, it presents us a harmonious energy. This is about spending quality time with friends and family. You're feeling in a more loving mood at this time. You're more sensitive to loving energy, but also negative manipulative energy. Wherever you need to draw the boundaries in your life in regards to this, it is critical that you do that at this time. because on the high side, you're more receptive to the love that people give you from the divine, from yourself, from your higher self. You're more at ease around people. You're more open book around people. This is good for bargaining also. This is good for cooking and caring for other people. Um, this is about having comfort, and creating emotional security. Creating these two things really, really strongly. Do you feel comfortable inside your own skin? Do you feel secure in your life? Now's the time to evaluate these things. Now's the time to look at your life and think, what do I need to do in order for me to feel more emotionally secure? This is also about seeking out opportunities to deepen a romantic connection. Deepening that connection to your partner is super important. The downside of this is that you're more likely to project your insecurities onto other people. So be aware that you're not doing that. You genuinely have more charm and attractiveness at this particular time. Um, you're more charming, you're more open book, you're more attractive. And this is good for attracting to you what you desire. Now, the last aspect that we have going on is the moon is going to be trining Mars in Cancer. So the moon is in Scorpio, Mars is in Cancer. So this is about knowing what you need and want, and you're willing to go after it at this time. This is about taking the initiative and taking the lead of your life. And it's okay to be direct now because you won't be looked at as rude or mean or bossy or demanding. You'll be looked at as honest and assertive and putting your values first and foremost as the primary importance of your life. And people will respect your values at this time. People will respect your boundaries. People will respect what you expect out of them and yourself. So, it's okay to be this at this time. This is a good time to stand up for yourself. If you feel just that you have the mindset of weakness and lack of courage and, lack of backbone, now is the time to stand up for yourself, your family, the people that you love, and not being afraid to do this, being very, very strong and confident in yourself and getting past any insecurity, any living from the outside in, living, um, being pulled down and drained by the people around you. This is time to stand up for yourself and get past all those limitations that you put on yourself and that other people put on you. Do all you can to break free from the limitations. This is about being brave also. Being brave, being daring to go after what you want to go after. This is about communicating with openness and sincerity also. Being truthful. This is about forming meaningful interactions with other people. Forming connections that also enrich your emotional landscapes also. This is about supporting your connections with others and nurturing the people in your life. And this is about having vitality in general. Any activity that's physical, running, juggling, walking, skipping, hopping, whatever is a physical activity, shooting hoops, whatever it is, now's the time to exercise. Now's the time to release any strong, the energy that you have, the life kicking that you have in any way possible that is physical. Um, and doing what you feel also maybe sexually attracted to, not being afraid to do the things that are considered, sexy to you, I might add. And going full throttle into those things in healthy ways, of course, in balanced ways, of course. And so what can you do to support your physical health? That becomes a big issue. Doing good for yourself on the physical level. This is the time to step out of your comfort zone and embrace new experiences. The card that I pulled for this particular day is the card decisions, and this is a message from the higher self. And the card that I pulled originally for October 4th is from your guardian angel, which is prayer. And the card that I pulled for your higher self is decision. So this is from your higher self. So this card is about you have to be the one to make decisions. No one is going to make decisions for you. You have to actually be proactive and make the decisions that you need and want to make in your life and determining your decisions for yourself. Making decisions, choosing any decision, even if you're not entirely sure about it, is better than deciding to not decide at all. Are you feeling indecisive at this time? Your decisions, that you decide will probably bring you up to the highest height if you're deciding from your intuition. If you're listening to your intuition and making a choice from your intuitive part of yourself. And so you are faced with making decisions right now. This is what this is about. This is about focusing on your own priorities, the decisions that you need to make, focusing on your expectations, your values, your things that you have to get done off your list, and not focusing on other people, but focusing on yourself and the decisions that you need to make. This is about not abandoning yourself and putting yourself first. So that's the invitation for this particular day. Thank you for watching. I hope that you like this video. Subscribe, like this video, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.